The first time Rachel Monroe asked me for a ride home, I almost laughed, not because it was funny, because for 3 straight years, Rachel had been the one person in the Chicago office who could turn every meeting into a competition. Every presentation felt like a silent battle. Every promotion opportunity became a race. She was brilliant, relentless, and frustratingly difficult to work with. And now, on a rainy Thursday evening, she was standing beside my desk looking exhausted, asking for help. Before we begin, if you believe in kindness, hope, forgiveness, compassion, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories reach more hearts. I stared at Rachel for a moment before agreeing. Her car had broken down, the weather was getting worse, and despite everything between us, leaving her stranded didn't feel right. The drive started awkwardly. The windshield. Wipers moved back and forth while silence filled the car. For the first time since I'd known her, Rachel didn't seem confident or guarded. She looked tired, not physically tired, but emotionally worn down. As we drove through the suburbs north of Chicago, she kept checking her phone. There was anxiety in her eyes that I'd never seen before. When we finally pulled into a quiet neighborhood, lined with maple trees, something unexpected happened. The front door flew open. A little boy sprinted across the lawn before I could even put the car in park. Behind him came an elderly woman, followed by a middle-aged man carrying a tray of food. Their faces lit up the moment they saw Rachel step out of my car. Then, they saw me. The little boy immediately grabbed Rachel's hand and pointed at me with excitement. Within seconds, everyone was smiling. Before either of us could explain anything, her family had apparently reached their own conclusion. They thought I was her boyfriend. I expected Rachel to correct them immediately. She didn't. Instead, she looked embarrassed, glanced at me apologetically, and quietly asked if I could stay for dinner. I should have said no. Instead, for reasons I still don't fully understand, I followed her inside. That evening changed everything I thought I knew about her. The woman I had always viewed as my office rival became someone entirely different in that house. She wasn't the sharp-tongued professional who challenged every idea. She was a devoted aunt helping her nephew finish homework. She was a loving daughter checking on her father's health. She was the person making sure everyone else had food before serving herself. As the evening unfolded, pieces of her life slowly became clear. 2 years earlier, Rachel's sister had passed away after a long illness. Since then, Rachel had become one of the primary caregivers for her young nephew, Caleb. Much of the ambition and overtime work I had mistaken for selfishness was actually necessity. Medical, bills, family responsibilities, and household expenses had forced her to push herself harder than anyone in our office. Suddenly, countless misunderstandings began making sense. The meetings where she seemed aggressive, the late-night emails, the constant pressure she put on herself. I realized I had spent years judging a story I never bothered to understand. Over the following weeks, something shifted between us. We remained competitive at work, but the hostility faded. We started having coffee after meetings. We learned how much we actually had in common. Yet there was still one challenge neither of us could ignore. The company announced a major executive position. Both of us were finalists. The promotion represented everything we had worked toward for years. As the selection process began, old tensions returned. Neither of us wanted to lose. Yet this time, the rivalry felt different. There was respect where resentment had once existed. Then, something unexpected happened. A week before the final evaluation, Rachel's father suffered a health setback. She missed several important preparation meetings while helping her family. When she returned, she looked defeated. For the first time, I saw genuine fear in her eyes. The promotion wasn't just about career advancement anymore. It could provide the financial stability her family desperately needed. That night, I sat alone thinking about everything I had learned. Years earlier, I would have celebrated her disadvantage. Instead, I found myself helping her. I shared notes, filled her in on meetings, and made sure she had every piece of information she had missed, not because I wanted her to owe me, because it was the right thing to do. When the final decision arrived, neither of us expected the outcome. The executive board promoted both of us. The company had expanded the leadership structure after being impressed by our combined performance. For a moment, neither of us could speak, all those years spent viewing each other as obstacles had blinded us to a simple truth. We were stronger as allies than competitors. Months later, I found myself back at her family's house for Caleb's birthday party. This time, nobody assumed I was dating Rachel. They knew. Because somewhere between shared challenges, unexpected kindness, and countless conversations, friendship had quietly become something deeper. Before I share the ending, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever completely misunderstood someone before learning their real story? Leave a comment below and share your experience. As the sun set over the backyard, Caleb ran across the grass laughing, while Rachel stood beside me watching her family. I remembered that rainy evening, when she had asked for a ride home. It seemed like such a small decision at the time. But life often changes through ordinary moments. A simple act of kindness can open a door to understanding. A stranger can become a friend. A rival can become a partner. And sometimes the people we struggle with the most are carrying burdens we know nothing about. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking the video, sharing it with someone who needs a reminder about compassion, and subscribing for more uplifting stories. Your support helps spread messages of hope and kindness. As Rachel squeezed my hand and her family gathered around us beneath the warm evening lights, I realized something I would never forget. People are rarely what they seem at first glance. When we choose understanding over judgment and kindness over pride, we don't just change someone else's life. Sometimes, we completely change our own.